Good evening, Contest of Champions. Week 5 is on the horizon. Week 4 has come to a close. Anthony, how we feeling?
You did that wrong. And you tried to bail your way out of it. That's not how you intro, and I heard it.
I was so
I'm not gonna
excited.
let him get away with it.
I
Not
was so
on this
excited
good,
for week 5. I
not
forgot
on
what
this
week we were
good
in.
Christian server.
Listen, I thought I played it off perfectly fine.
You did, but I noticed.
All right, week 4 is over. Week 5 on the horizon. Listen, I'd like to take 1 second and say, hey, look, it's me. I'm at the top. This is more of a formality. I know I will not be there very long, but I'd like to enjoy it while it's there.
You say that.
All
You
right,
got
let's
good.
go to the pick'em.
You got a good team. You got a lot of points up there. I lost. Sag. Travis scored many points. It's unfortunate, but we're here. We're around. We're 3-1. We're feeling good. We're feeling good.
You know what's not feeling good? Our pick'em points.
Yeah, collectively, bad week. For me, listen, that's +1, boys. We got 1 point back on Andrew. You would think we'd go at least 500.
If you go to the weekly performance.
This is, I think, the most ridiculous stat about this. And again, we brought it up last week. We're both 3-1, and we've picked ourselves every week. We are so bad at picking other matchups.
I got right this week was mine. That's it. Everybody else got it wrong.
I did not get mine right this week. We both picked me. Both picked Dan. We both picked Craig. I didn't know that. You said that I picked Greg on like Friday, and I feel lied to and cheated. This would have been a +2 week for me.
I feel like you picked Greg. And
I did not switch. I did not switch. Maybe last second on the video, but I did not.
Last second on the video. That's what I mean. I think
maybe. I did not switch post video.
Anyway, yeah.
Sorry, my boy, David and
hey,
Nathan.
boo boo.
Unfortunate.
Shout to David getting that win.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's jump right in.
Oof.
Listen.
Oof.
Here's, everybody give me like, Anthony, your first loss. Listen, maybe it went to my head that I was 3-0 in CoC, and I was like, man, this league is so easy. So I'm just gonna start 2 players, and I'm gonna see if I can win anyway. And I was close.
It's an interesting handicap.
I was close.
I
will say, Narrative Street, I scored my 110 points. And Travis scored his 111. That's all you need. Narrative Street.
I am interested.
I am the gatekeeper.
Kept your mark.
Yeah.
Man. Puka Nakua. Huh? What a pickup.
What an interesting situation. Cooper Kupp expected to come back either this week or next. And let's see what happens to Puka Nakua and Cooper Kupp. Let's see what happens to both of them. What's their value going to look like when they're both on the football field?
That is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little pop off from Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, honestly, Travis's team just top to bottom, other than Deebo Samuel, honestly, mid to bottom, did really well. He just scored a lot of points. He special teams diffed me. That was quite literally the difference, 27-7, 20 points. I win by 1. But I mean, Chris McCaffrey, cool player. I have a 45-point player. I lost.
So I have a
30-point player.
I have a question for you, because I know it would not have mattered, but
no,
when Deshaun Watson was ruled out, you had your concerns about starting Amari Cooper. Clearly, Jordan
Addison was the leader in the clubhouse.
The other options weren't great either.
They weren't great. Yeah, I didn't know you hadn't looked. Yeah, so Jahan Dotson was never really a consideration. It was between these 3 gentlemen. And Jordan Addison goosed, and Pickett's at 4 points. So ultimately, it wound up not mattering at all for me.
Okay.
Yeah. No decisions could have been made. Team just played not good.
Shout out to Chris McCaffrey, keeping that point total close.
That guy is now, after a down week, is like the RB1 by 30 points. It's not close. After Mostert basically goosed this past week. I don't know how many points he actually had, but it was not a lot. You probably know. We'll get to it.
4.
Yeah, that's pretty much a goose. Travis, good team. We knew it. Travis is 3-1. He's up there. Back to league standings. It's me. It's you. It's Travis. It's Kyle. That's great. We got a lot of 3-1 teams, by the way. Anybody keeping track?
Travis Travis's really only weakness is
This is the
quarterback.
quarterback. If
That's
Travis just streams properly week to week, he is going to be. I mean, the other weakness is not weakness, but this Puka Nacua could be, a big problem. Not a problem, but this has been his big play driving force.
Yeah.
This has been
Yeah.
his 20-point guy in multiple weeks, and you'd think that Puka Nacua is going to return to this type of output. I don't think he'll go below this.
I think 10 is so much more realistic.
I think he's going to be a 7 for 70 guy going forward and picks up like 10 to 11 points. And if he falls in the end zone, it'll be great. But he's not going to have those 11 for 180s anymore, I don't think. We'll see. I hope he plays for one more week.
Travis looking spooky. All right, moving on.
Speaking of spooky, you tried the same thing, but you started 3 players. See, not as much of a handicap.
I
as much of a
have to
handicap.
admit, I got bailed out this week. Mike Evans,
Justin Fields. Wow, you got injury bailed out? Like you didn't have a choice.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying. Yeah, I got injury bailed out. Listen, I wasn't gonna start anybody else. I'm
That's
just
true.
Saying,
Wow.
I got bailed out. I got saved by some big performances from the boys, and some kind of stinky performances from Patty Mahomes. Evan made what some will call questionable lineup decisions.
I wouldn't call that questionable lineup decisions. What, Dobbs or Shaheed over Dobbs?
I mean, yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah. I would call that suspect, but that doesn't affect the matchup. It's only 10 points.
Yeah,
and you would never start Pacheco over Pollard, Kenneth Walker, or H.N.
I don't think you would.
Pacheco would have been a good start. I'm sure people started him all over the place, but Evan just has 3 better running backs.
I was surprised when he benched Tyler Lockett for Shaheed.
Again, didn't wind up mattering, but yes.
Didn't matter, but
Shaheed is an interesting start.
I think he was. I didn't see it. I don't know why, but
he was just chasing 102. Like that could happen with Shaheed. He was chasing the upside. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Luke Musgrave did get hurt in like the first quarter.
I will say that I strongly was considering starting Daniel Jones over Lamar Jackson.
You would have lost.
Really glad that
you were strong. That's right. We talked about this.
That
was a conversation that you and I had. I'm sorry, Evan. I sandbagged you.
Considering it, and
I said, "Don't be an idiot."
Yeah, and I did not be an idiot.
This is at like 12:49, by the way. For anybody keeping track at home, this is late in the Sunday.
Because like we talked about it Saturday, and then we talked about it again Sunday.
Yeah.
I
think he was in your lineup at one point.
Yeah, he was. I was multi-day thinking about it, and boy, that would have been a horrible decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How many points does Evan have?
Sag. Pretty decent.
Let me open up the tracker real quick. Look at the league standings, because we're gonna get into this too when I assume we look at Dan's matchup. The points for there are a couple guys up here who just can't buy wins, but all they do is score points.
Tough.
Yeah.
It is tough.
We'll see if that evens its way out as we get deeper into the season.
Evan, listen, you got a good guy, you'd be alright. Shout out to Chan.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. We should have talked about that. Guys, Evan fleeced me in that trade. Jordan Addison goosed, and H.N. has 70 points the last 2 weeks.
Dude, remember on Anthony?
Remember when I had H.N.?
2 weeks ago? Yeah, dude, remember? Dude, you Alvin compared yourself again. So funny.
The only thing I'm not upset about yet is I know I would have mind gamed myself out of the start this week.
It's fair. I
would not have started him last week, obviously, like nobody did.
Right.
And then this week, I would have mind gamed myself out, believing in Jahmyr Gibbs for no reason, and not started him again. I already know I would have done that, so I don't feel like I missed on his points for this week.
Right.
All right. David Bender. David saves this season, does not fall to 0-4.
Listen, David gets boosted by another David. David Montgomery.
We're going to say Davante Adams.
That would have been good. I like
That's right. I forgot.
2. So, I'm looking at Bender's team, right?
We've been saying it all season.
And listen, we had our doubts, and like this is kind of like if you pull up that points for again.
This guy's making me do work while I'm trying to eat my dinner.
Huh.
I'm trying to let him talk so I can eat. He's like,
How
pull up those
many-
points for.
Right.
Yikes. Yeah.
Lowest points for, and it's not even like very close.
It's not close.
Dallas Goedert, bust. Alexander Madison, questionable.
I don't even think I have to look at this. I don't know that Bender's broken 100 yet through 4 weeks.
Like, if you told me his highest scoring player was Dallas defense, I would know that you're telling the truth because it is.
That's got to be right. Yeah.
It's either that or Jalen.
It's Jalen Hurts probably.
Actually, I haven't done the math, but it's
Wow,
closer
it's
than it
close.
should be. Okay. It is closer than it should be. Jamar Chase has been total fake news. Joe Burrow's too hurt. Doesn't work. Hopefully he bounce. I mean, look, these guys, they'll be fine. Jalen Waddle has been fucking disappointing. But
I mean, more or less disappointing than Jamar Chase.
Super disappointing.
Andrew,
Yeah,
I'll let you lock in your bet. It is a 2-point differential between Jalen Hurts and Dallas defense. Who do you think has more points?
For the meme, I'm taking Dallas.
It is Jalen Hurts by 2 points. Jalen Hurts has 82 points on the season. Dallas has like 80 and change.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, this might be the most disappointing wide receiver duo in the NFL this season, and he just happens to have both of them. This is also the other saving grace of having Jahmyr Gibbs on my team. It's like Waddle was the miss, and everybody told me on draft day, I can't believe you didn't take Waddle and you took Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, they both suck, so
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. These guys will get better over time.
You say that. They
will.
I can't, man. I might be like 100% out on the Bengals, man. I don't know that they're going to get better. I'm going to be honest with you.
They'll be fine.
Listen, I think the Bengals buys in like 2 weeks, right? If they lose this game and fall to 1-4, they're going to shut Joe Burrow down for 2 weeks to get him healthy. And then they could very well be 1-5 going into the second half of their season where they play San Francisco and Buffalo. When is the recovery? I mean, yeah, they got a good this, but at this point they might be 3-10.
Anthony's like, when do the points start?
When do the points start, man? I don't know. The Bengals are scary bad.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Bengals are scary bad. David's team played well.
David's
Justin
team.
Fields, real, fake. Who knows?
Talking about scary. Shout out to David. Shout out to Gabe. Getting that first dub.
I sent so many trades out. Try to get rid of Justin Fields today.
Yeah, how come I didn't get one?
You are the Jalen Hurts owner? Question mark.
So you think I don't want 2 great quarterbacks?
Wow. Do you? Because you can have him for a wide receiver too.
We'll talk later. Bender, keep your head up, buddy. Keep your head up.
Okay.
Maybe make a trade. Honestly, you might need to try to sell.
You just need to send
somebody.
it. You need to sell Jalen Waddle or Jamar Chase at less than value.
Yeah, you need something. Because you're not. It's not so much that the players aren't good. It's that they're
the
not
combination
scoring.
of players. Yeah.
it's like like if you were just scoring a bunch of points and losing, that'd be different. You'd be Dan's team. But you're not. You're not scoring any points and you're losing. That's not good. That is not good. Moving on. Big love.
Speaking of someone who's been there a lot of times, that's not good. Juice Alone.
Listen, the namesake
Woo!
says it all. Josh Allen, 40 points. He breaks 100, just barely, but he does.
That's all he needs. That's Jeremy's kryptonite. Somebody who had triple-digit points.
Jeremy, unfortunately, leaves his best player.
No!
I still to this, I'm still salty. I'm still so incredibly salty that Jeremy wouldn't trade me Nico Collins before the season started. Great player. Get him in your lineup. But honestly, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Keenan Allen, you got Brandon Ayuk, who had a great game.
Yeah.
Great game. But it's like you don't have enough starting slots to get Nico in.
I mean, Nico is the reasonable bench, right? Like you have because you're
Right.
not
I'm not
benching
even.
these two, and
Yeah,
and
no.
Ayuk's playing Arizona. Like you're gonna start these three.
And Nico's coming off a bad game. Like I'm honestly.
I mean, if
That
you're Jeremy, no cap, you're packaging up Nico Collins and Najee Harris, and go get yourself an
yeah,
actual
get something
starting running back. Like, go get a running back that plays football on your roster.
I'm making fun of his Nico sit, knowing that I sat Nico for Cortland Sutton in another league.
Oh,
Listen, it
stinky.
happens. It happens. I think Nico is the real deal. But honestly, Jeremy, you can't start 4 wide receivers in a week, so you might need to figure that out.
You guys have been trying. You guys have been trying for years.
I wish, dude. Honestly, where's that extra flex spot? Najee Harris, best game of the year.
I think he
10
matched
points?
his season point total in this game.
Gotta be.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
See, like,
Shout out to
dude,
Najee.
this is the problem with Najee Harris. This is his peak. Like, if he falls in the end zone one time and finishes this game with 16.8 points, that's the most possible
Highest.
points that you can get from Najee Harris. It's like 18. And that is spooky.
Speaking
I'll
of
hold my Najee Harris slander this week because he played fine.
Speaking of Cortland Sutton, he's on Jushaloon's team, getting that.
Oh, there
dub.
is. I mean, he's great. Look, that's double digits.
Oh, we take that. I mean,
I know
look,
you
that was
benched Nico
upsetting.
for him, but like that's double digits. And this game also, like, I'm pretty sure Pratt Highmuth got hurt in like the first quarter. Like this could have been even less close.
Listen, all of your receivers
Gosh,
scored enough. Your running backs enough. Your special teams close, but
I mean,
Jeremy
so was
wasn't good
Jeremy's.
either.
Yeah.
He made 100, and yeah, 40 of it came from one player. But you know, who cares? A win's a win, baby.
A win is a win. As a fellow Josh Allen owner, as of this week, for those who don't know, because nobody knows, because nobody's in that league, I traded for Josh Allen, and I beat Kyle by 3 points. So suck it, because I know he doesn't watch these videos.
Shout out.
On to the next.
Good stuff, boys.
Speaking of Kyle.
Fine. Looking at Kyle. Daniel.
God damn. Well, someone's doing Josh Allen. Somebody else had to start Stephon Diggs. God damn.
Right. That is right. Derrick Henry, the king.
Kyron on the bench. Terry on the bench.
I know.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot of points on that bench.
Kyle was sweating this too. I was talking to Kyle like 12:45. Kyron, Swift, Pierce, and he was like, "Man, which ones do I start?"
I bench Pierce here easily. And I know
that is what I told him to do.
Decision.
That's what I told him to do.
I played Kyron over Pierce, and like, listen, Kyle generally
team is good.
Yeah, Kyle generally we kind of write him off because normally he gets one big injury and we don't have to worry about his team. His team is actually pretty good.
He doesn't have that injury yet. What do we do?
I mean, listen, you guys better watch out. I know that nobody wants to listen to Kyle win.
I mean, he was like, I mean, I'm not pulling up the stats for the 5th time. I'm pretty sure he's 2nd or 3rd in points, and he's 3-1. Or, I'm sorry, I know for a fact he's 4th in points because he's 3-1 and he's in 4th place.
4th?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have like one more point scored than him this season. Like he and I are like both at like 430, I think. So he's scoring points. He's got a good, solid top to bottom lineup. He's got running back depth, which is something we never say about Kyle's team. Like even Josh Kelly is like not a bad depth piece. He's got receiver depth. Kyle's got depth that we typically don't see from his team. And honestly, the fact that he didn't have to start Deshaun Watson was great for him. Deshaun Watson's been fine this season. David Njoku buffed because Deshaun Watson wasn't playing.
Daniel, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Week 1. We were hyping you up.
This is so troll, by the way. I'm pretty sure I've picked Dan in 3 straight weeks, and he's lost in 3 straight weeks. And Dan is solo sabotaging my pick'em.
I don't know what listen, on paper, you look at his players and you go, that's a great team. Well, they just don't score any points together. I don't know. It's weird.
We were talking about this. I think this was you and I last night, right? It's fantasy. Obviously, we all know it's about luck, right? Like, there's an element of skill. But the real luck is having a team like, it's like locker room synergy. You need a team that scores together. or scores enough apart. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have this team where like half scores and half doesn't, and then you wind up with 102 points every week and then you lose. Like, you need the team that lines up where like all their spikes are in the same weeks, and Dan is just not getting that. Dan is getting like really solid production from this crew in the week that this crew bails, and vice versa. Like,
yeah, that is true. I mean, normally when Tua and Tyreek pop off, I mean, listen, Daniel, mate, you need it. What Anthony is
Dan's
trying
fine.
to say
Oh no, I'm
is
unlucky.
You
You're
need
fine.
a locker room guy. You need a Tim Tebow on your team.
You need Zay Jones. That's who you need.
Listen, do not let Dan get a hold of Zay Jones. That guy is the key to victory, as you will see in our next matchup. Because Zay
there he is.
Oh man, listen,
that transition was too clean.
I am convinced that I have hyped up Zay Jones so much to Greg that Greg is like, I can never get rid of this guy. He is gold if he ever makes it back to the field. And I agree.
He is so useless.
Dude, Zay Jones is so listen.
He is so
Greg.
Useless.
Trade me him right now.
I don't know how many times I have to say this. Greg, a bag of nickels, bro. Whatever he'll give you. It's better than Zay Jones, man. That guy's the number 4 wide receiving option on his own team. 5 if you count ETN. And, like, what are we talking about here? Christian Kirk is finally back on track. He's popping off. We didn't talk about Calvin Ridley, who had a pretty good game on Dan's team.
I think that we can officially dub this the Poop Bowl.
I didn't see.
Nobody,
Yes.
Yeah.
Every other game had somebody break 100.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess Nathan and Jeremy were matchup of the week. We didn't notice that, I guess, at the time, because usually matchup of the week is like 2 high-scoring teams who pop off.
So,
but that would have been
briefly
me and
touching
Travis,
on that.
I guess.
Jeremy was down 11-ish, 12-ish points going into Monday night, and he had Graham Gano.
Yes.
He needed a couple kicks to pass Nathan, and the Giants.
Stinky doo doo.
I
mean, he did have a 50+ yarder, so. Yeah, nice. I mean, double digit from a kicker is totally reasonable, but you don't always get it, you know?
You don't always get it. Speaking of somebody who did get it, Greg, shout out to Brett Meyer, dropping 16,
special teams,
third highest scorer. Listen, I don't know if Craig had any different decisions. Not really. Nobody really sticks out.
Curtis Samuel, starting Curtis Samuel. Adam Thielen, maybe.
Like
Thielen over Pittman? Like, I guess, bro. There's nothing impactful enough.
This team just bricked.
I mean, I think we said this on the matchup preview last week. This was a bad start. I'm pretty sure we talked about that on last week's rundown. That Green Bay defense against Detroit was a bad start. Not that, again, a defense was going to do it for you. But, actually, I say that. Did anyone start the Seattle defense? Because Seattle scored 30, for those who didn't know that. I knew that, which is why I looked it up. Our collective league against the Giants left 30 points on the table. So, in theory, Craig would have won this matchup if he started the Seattle defense.
Listen, Craig, food for thought.
They're on a bye week. They might score more points than Green Bay this week. Never mind.
Listen, if I'm Greg, dude, I'm sitting pretty.
If you're Greg, you're golden, brother. Greg's up there.
Cooper Kupp coming off the
3-1. Cooper Kupp's coming off the IR next week. This week, last week he's out. This week,
he's got solid depth. T. Higgins, I think, might not be doing very well.
He does not. You say he has solid depth. I disagree.
His
wide receiver depth is not great because T. Higgins is out for an undisclosed amount of time.
T. Higgins, yes. But listen,
Tutu is not a real. Oh, maybe he is real. No, because Tutu is not a depth piece once Cooper Kupp comes back.
Right. But listen, all he needs is 3 startable running backs, which he has.
He has the running backs. He has the starting lineup for sure. I just don't know that he has depth.
Zay Jones, so he's got.
That's not a real player.
He will ever need.
That's not a real player.
Greg's team is set. Lock it. Set it. Everything.
Craig's team. Samaje Perine. Oh.
Oh, listen. Some may remember
Jaleel McLaughlin?
that Samaje Perine was traded to Craig for I don't remember. Oh, Elijah Moore, who I dropped. So shout out to Samaje Perine. Craig, that guy could be useful next week. Because if Jonathan Taylor comes back, Zach Moss will not be useful next week.
Yeah, wow. I did not. Craig, Craig is the running back reaper of this season. So let's not forget.
He do be reaping. He do be reaping.
Aaron Jones and J.K. Dobbins. Yeah.
God, J.K. Dobbins.
Talking.
Shout out to the guys we lost, you know? Shout out. Week 5, because listen, boys, week 5 is where things start getting a little tight. You know, you get some injuries stacking up, get some bye weeks creeping in.
A bye here or there. Fuck. This one?
Nice job, buddy.
A bye here or there.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Greg.
All of a sudden.
Listen, into week 5, first matchup, Anthony B. Grigori.
Bam!
Here's the question. Does Zay Jones play this week? No,
I hope so.
Does Cooper Kupp play this week?
No.
Because I don't know.
I don't know. I think it really is a coin flip. He's practicing this week. Let's slow him down. He doesn't need to be back this week. Let's bring him back. Listen, you don't need to bring him back against Philly. Nah. Let's bring him back against Arizona, a little layup game. Team he just historically dominates. Let's give him one more week. Get him integrated back into practice. We don't need him out there. Or, counter scenario, we need decoy Cooper Kupp out there. You know, Cooper Kupp's not running real routes, but he's getting the coverage. It's Puka Nacua time, baby. Not Tutu Atwell time. There is a path where if it happens, I'm pretty sure I just walk to a victory against Craig's, like, Zay Jones, Tutu Atwell starting lineup. And I hope that happens for me. We got Kirk Cousins in the game of the week. National television. You hate to see it.
Why do you think Taylor Swift's going to be there?
Probably. Actually...
No, probably not.
I was talking... I'm pretty sure her tour, like, starts again sometime soon. So she will, in the near future, cease to be at games. I like that, by the way, our shitty 2-viewer podcast, could not get through an entire episode without talking about Taylor Swift.
Swift boy.
That is the obligation of all NFL
Absolutely.
media content.
Who to pick here, man? Because
it's not a hard decision.
Listen, Greg's team doesn't have a wide receiver to play.
Okay.
If Cooper Kupp and Zay Jones don't play.
If Cooper Kupp does play, he's just starting double Rams wide receivers. That's the other part of it.
Your team, who has 2 wide receivers,
are arguably not better.
Arguably not better than
I have acknowledged that.
Okay, that's a good start. Acknowledgement is the first step.
Listen, if Jahan Dotson plays, I think we're just firing him up against Chicago.
I mean, yeah, why not?
You start everybody against Chicago, right?
Chicago sucks. Start everybody.
Dude, here's the problem. Listen, I'm getting the Mitch Trubisky Magic Man buff this week. Are you kidding me? I got a little magic sprinkle, little dust sprinkled on my lineup. I can't lose.
Man, this is really tough. Honestly, I'm not even like messing around. I'm
pretty sure
my selection.
Now that I'm looking at this, I'm almost positive. I'm pretty sure I just start the other 2 wide receivers. And I just hope that Jordan Addison can blanket Kirk Cousins. And if Kirk Cousins plays like terrible against Kansas City, I just eat that Jordan Addison played bad. Yeah, and then Jahan Dotson against Chicago in what is going to be, I think, like a weirdly fun game to watch on Thursday night. Like, it's 2 terrible teams, but like I think it's actually not going to be terrible. I see something about that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. I think it's just going to be so ugly. Those games are always awful. Like, I think this might just be Pittsburgh gets blasted for the 4th week in a row. Ugly. Like, I think that might be the version of ugly that it is. Start your Lamar Jacksons.
Even if Mitch gets out there, Big Mitch.
Dude, Big Mitch throws a touchdown to Big Pickens. Okay. I picked me, obviously. I don't know who I'm starting. I don't think it matters. Christian McCaffrey for a milli. It doesn't matter that he's playing against the fake ass Cowboys defense.
Listen, I've made my selection.
Jameer Gibbs is definitely real.
Uh-huh.
Who'd you pick?
I picked Greg.
Wow, you're gross.
I picked Greg.
You'll regret it.
I don't know, buddy.
Speaking of buys. Uh-oh. What the fuck, bro? This guy.
Listen,
This guy.
listen, this is a great opportunity.
This guy is playing Modern Warfare 2. It's time for a drop party.
Where are we dropping, boys? Listen, as some of you may know, Kyle Pitts is on the waiver wire. Anybody's happy to pick him up. Make sure to get him while he's hot. You know.
Honestly, that's got who was it? Evan? No, Jeremy. That's got Jeremy's name written all over it. No, who lost? Who played Luke Musgrave? Musgrave.
That was Evan.
Evan. It's got Evan written all over it.
Listen, you say that. Jew Shalou, Nathan is in need of a tight end.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, he could start Drake London.
Nathan, I want to pick you so bad, but it's just not it, brother. It is just not it.
I'm looking at Nathan's matchups, and I'm thinking to myself,
his matchups are good. He's got that little Jacksonville, Buffalo, London game going.
Listen,
but who's he
Josh
starting
Allen,
at running back? Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Like,
you know what I think about.
The Josh Allen mirror matchup.
Yeah, I was trying to make a Jew Shalhoub versus Jew Shalhoub joke.
Oh my god!
I was like, I couldn't find it.
Here's the thing: the power of Jew Shalhoub is canceled out by the power of Jew Shalhoub. So Jew Shalhoub squared is just 0. You know,
so
it's unfortunate.
Jacksonville has, I believe,
he's like a standing outside linebacker, defensive end, pass rusher type guy.
Yeah, who plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. His name is Josh Allen. Versus Josh Allen. They have. Josh Allen has pick sixed.
Yes.
Josh Allen before.
Yes.
It is a funny matchup when they play each other, and they are playing it.
And since they're playing each other in London in the morning, and it's the only game on,
London.
I'm sure that will be 50% of what they talk about during the game.
Yeah.
50 being only when the Bills are on offense.
So listen, team,
it's you. It doesn't even matter.
Listen, if Saquon Barkley
it doesn't matter.
And Javonte Williams doesn't play,
it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, all right. There we go. Moving on.
Like, Nathan, I want to pick you so bad. You don't have a starting lineup. I cannot pick you because Nathan slots 2 players in here, and he is going to be summing up to 86.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I'm not picking somebody who projected score 86. I love you, Nathan. Love you, buddy. It ain't it.
All right. Moving on. Shout out to Nathan.
Shout out to Nathan. Oh my god, speaking of 86. My god, Bender. Bender's whole team is healthy and he's projected to score 86 points.
Listen, once he gets a kicker in there, he's going to be at 88 easy.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor. Oh, that's the buff that Bender needed. The forgotten one. Let's see if he plays this week.
That.
I don't know if you heard this. This is a really fun meme.
Love memes.
So you know how everybody's like, oh yeah, Jonathan Taylor, super excited to be back. Like, gonna start practicing this week. Practice window opening. All of those reports have come from the Colts.
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor has not made a comment about coming back yet. He's not playing.
I'm pretty sure Jonathan Taylor explicitly was like, I'm not playing for the Colts.
Yeah,
like, he refuses on like a personal basis. He does not want to play for them.
He needs to play a single game for this to count as like the league year or something like that. Like he has to play a certain amount of games for it to count for him. So like it really is like push comes to shove here. I don't know who's gonna. And
here's what's the thing: one of Bender's best players, Dallas defense, is playing arguably
the worst matchup of the year for them.
Yeah, the 32nd ranked offense in terms of scoring. So I just don't. I've made my decision. It is Travis.
It is T-Slice.
Good luck out there, Bender.
Travis.
Make trades.
Puka Nacua debuff. Travis, what defense will he start? Yeah, it's just. I mean, maybe it's Jalen Waddle against. I mean, this is great. You look at it, honestly, all of this.
Those are great. Those
You
are
look at
great
all of
matchups.
this. But do these players come alive this week for the first time?
I
Let's hope so. If you're saying, let's
mean,
hope fucking Dallas Goddard comes alive, bro. What is happening? This has been
dude,
the disappointment of my fever season. Let me tell you.
is this week where Cam Akers starts to creep in on Alexander Madison's touches? I mean,
Potentially.
maybe.
How many? What was Alexander? I mean, Alexander Madison
Yeah,
had a nice little
he had
game
a good
last week.
touch. Yeah, he had a nice little game. It's just it's tough.
There's
I mean,
just
listen,
there's a
can
path
Bender
for
win?
so
Sure,
many
of
guys to
course.
not play well.
I will say Garrett Wilson and the Jets play Denver. Garrett Wilson is going to have the
Unfortunate.
best game of his season.
I mean, probably.
Probably.
Garrett Wilson has been surprisingly not bad
No,
since the loss of Aaron
he's been
Rodgers.
a completely
Fine start.
like low end wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Like, fine.
If he didn't get drafted where he got drafted, he'd be fine. Like if you drafted Garrett Wilson like the sixth round, you'd be like, oh wow, this is a reasonable output for a fifth, sixth round guy. But yeah, he's probably gonna have his best run of the season. Speaking of which, fucking so is Brian Robinson. About to go buck wild all over.
Probably so many yards. And honestly, so is other Brian Robinson.
Yeah, that guy's
a
probably
perfectly fine matchup.
Yo, speaking of which, I don't know if anybody in this league needs a quarterback. Somebody go pick up CJ Stroud. That guy needs to be a starter in this league. I'm on my CJ Stroud like bandwagon. I like to watch that guy play football, and I'm glad he's doing well. But unfortunately, I just don't have any like quarterback availability in either fantasy league, so it's just not it. I picked
not it, fam.
Are we the same at every matchup except for you didn't pick me?
Correct.
Wow. Matchup of the week?
This matchup.
Matchup of the week? This is the first matchup we looked at where both players have a full lineup.
Yeah, right? Nobody's like buyed out of this.
Nobody's buyed or injured out of this game.
This one, because David's on it. Oh.
Uh-oh.
You know, listen.
Are the Giants the worst team in the NFL?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna, because I think the only other arguments are the Broncos or the Bears.
I would agree with that statement.
And I think offensively the Giants are worse.
I think if the Giants don't make the 28-point comeback against the Cardinals, they're like undisputedly the worst team in the NFL, right? I think. Oh, but there's one other argument that I would accept. If the Patriots didn't beat the Jets, I would accept that the 0-4 Patriots are the worst team in the league. Weirdly enough,
are
Patriots. Those are all. Ray had me rank the doo-doo butt teams the other day when we were out, and those were the Patriots, the Giants, the Bears, and the Broncos. But I put the Broncos at like my ankles. They were real low down in the poll.
What about the Panthers?
The Panthers have.
So I'm pretty sure they're also winless.
They're 0-4 also. They're definitely down there, but I don't think they're the worst team.
I don't think they are either. I don't think they're as bad as
the Panthers aren't getting. The Panthers aren't losing by 40 on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
The Giants have 3 points in 8 primetime quarters.
I mean, it's
they paid Daniel Jones $160 million. The New York Giants are going to write Daniel Jones $200 million worth of checks before his career is over with them. That is so funny to me. Let's talk about this matchup. We got David. We got Dan.
If you look at David's matchups, some of those
I'm looking at them.
Actually kind of zesty.
They're all honestly the matchups across the board. This feels to me like matchup of the week material. Like true, like this looks to me like 120 to 127. Like someone's gonna be upset because they scored the second or third most amount of points and lost this game. And based on this matchup, it's gonna be Dan. Like based on the way this narrative has gone this season.
It's true.
Breece Hall against Denver. Oh no, it's the ACL revenge game. It's the ACL revenge game.
Listen, also, if you scooch down a little bit, you've got David Ante Adams versus Green Bay.
Oh, that guy's not going to score any points. I don't believe. Oh, let me. Late submission for worst team in the league, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Fair.
They are also terrible. There are so many bad football teams. The Jets are also up there, but I refuse to say
they're
that.
They're a tier above. They're probably like the Carolina tier.
I feel like the Jets, the Raiders, and Carolina are in that tier.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe we'll slide New England in there as well.
Fair enough, because they beat the Jets again.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
Yeah, and then
The difference is that
uh,
Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and all those other teams are at full strength. That's the
yes.
difference.
Listen, I'm not talking about I'm just saying currently.
Current
Uh,
form, yeah,
you have to
those
pick
teams are all bad.
somebody to win this matchup.
I don't want to. I'm stalling.
It's tough.
I'm
It's
really
really
stalling.
tough.
I don't want to. This
Listen,
matchup is really hard to
I'm gonna
pick.
go ahead. I've planted my flag. I've picked.
I already know that
Now,
that means that you picked David.
so now the pressure is on.
You have a lifetime bet against David though, so you probably maybe didn't pick him. Ooh, who knows? Oh, he's got Christian Watson, the Davante Adams replacement against Davante Adams. I mean, every week it just comes down to do Tua and Tyreek score 50 against the Giants, and the answer feels like yes. But then I look at the rest of Dan's lineup, and I just go, it's the at New England that is really the Olave Kamara at New England combo that's preventing me from slamming Dan.
With a totally busted Derek Carr.
Let me ask you a question because I don't know if you know this stat. Do you know how many receptions Alvin Kamara had last week?
Like 13.
That is the right number. It was 13 for 33 yards. I heard this stat on a podcast this morning. Did you watch Ballers today? Because you'll know the stat if you did.
No, I didn't.
What do you? They pulled it up. What do you think the lowest amount of yards that anybody has ever had with 13 receptions was before this game? This is the record for the least amount of yards ever had.
I do know it's 71.
It's 71 yards. He had 33.
There was an argument being made.
Crazy stuff.
That was like, does Alvin Kamara coming back make the New Orleans Saints worse as a team?
No, I think that Derek Carr should not have been playing in that game.
Right. I think it was Derek Carr
There's
that made the team worse.
him with one shoulder. Like it's not like your backup was Nathan Peterman. Like Jameis Winston is a fine NFL quarterback. I have no reason. There's no reason for Derek Carr to be in that game.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so afraid of this New England matchup. Because of that, I'm going to pick David. And I know I'm going to regret it because I picked Dan 3 weeks in a row. He's lost all 3 weeks. This is the week he wins.
Of course. Listen, you can't get off the Dan train now, buddy.
These two score 40 against the New York Giants. And hopefully the rest of his team just doesn't make up for it. Who'd you pick?
I have also selected.
Oh, you're arch enemy. You can't be doing that.
Selected David.
Sorry, Dan. Actually, you know what? You're welcome, Dan. You're welcome.
This honestly, I could see Dan winning this week easy.
Me too. That's why I think that was going to be one of the hardest
games
to pick.
It was a really tough.
Speaking of somebody who needs a tight end, both of these guys need a tight end. No, look at it. Kyle Pitts is going to start in this matchup. Kyle, go pick up CJ Stroud.
Let me ask you this question.
You don't watch these games, so it doesn't matter.
Is Evan's team the best 0-4 team you've ever seen?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know what you were going to ask me. Yes, absolutely.
Evan has.
Let's pull it up. I'm going to pull it up one more time before the end of this episode.
4 startable running backs. He's got Amon-Ra, who is a wide receiver.
Got 5 points apart. This game try to go home.
He's got Patrick Mahomes, and for some reason,
I thought this was going to be higher. To be totally honest,
he just can't get a win.
Just can't get a win. Evan just loses every week. Like Evan is just the opposite side of the coin to me. Like Evan's just scoring 110, 105 points every week, but is not playing against people scoring 105, 110 points a week. Like just keeps playing against people who are scoring 120. Can't buy a win. It's gonna turn over for him. Like that's the logic. I mean, looking at Kyle's roster, it feels like it turns over this week. Kyle and Jeremy get in a room. Kyle, give Jeremy one of these running backs, and Jeremy, give Kyle one of those wide receivers. Because Kyle, you can't start 4 running backs. Actually, never mind. Kyle's just getting DK Metcalf bud. Kyle's team is also really good, man. When I look at this team top to bottom, Kyle's team's really good. Like, Kyle's probably going to lose this week because of this bye. I'm probably going to pick Evan. But I think it's the Njoku bye, it's the Metcalf bye, and it's the quarterback. So, but, like, there is absolutely a world where Kyle wins this week.
One of the things that I think about...
I'm going to pick Evan early.
Is Kyle received DK Metcalf from me for DJ Moore and Javonte Williams.
Wow.
Time will tell how good that trade actually
That
was. Now,
so far
DJ
it's
Moore,
been about even.
it's been okay.
You
DJ Moore
started
has.
DJ Moore this past week, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So you
he
did get those points, which is probably going to be one of his highest points games of the season.
and he directly correlated to me winning.
Yeah.
So
Javonte
we'll
Williams
see.
was helpful for you the week before that.
Javonte Williams has been uber disappointing.
Yeah. Based on his
To
draft
be
position,
honest.
that is fair.
He's been really disappointing. And now he's hurt. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm picking Evan. I'm not confident in it, but it just feels like a
Wow, you're
letdown
picking
week.
Evan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Achan against the Giants is spooky. Start everybody
No,
against the Giants. Like that just feels like Miami's going to go out and score another 70, right?
it's a Raheem Mostert week, buddy.
I mean,
Sorry.
listen, we already learned it can be both.
It can be both.
It can be
They can do
both,
it all.
and it can be a Tyreek week, and it can be a Jalen Waddle week. I'm so happy I'm not playing against a Miami Dolphin this week. Because like,
My
unironically, they might drop another 70 piece. I wouldn't be that surprised.
my selection is for Mr. Himself.
Yeah,
Evan will get wins, but it will not be this week.
He also has Pacheco. He can start Pacheco over Dobbs. Like he has options.
Evan's got options.
Wait, yeah. Dobbs goes up here. Get this guy out of your lineup and start Pacheco, Evan. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like this guy has a floor, and that's what your team needs. Your team needs a floor. You already have this is a boom bust guy. This is a boom bust guy. This is a boom. Like you have so much boom in your lineup. You need some floor guys. You don't need more upside.
Amon Ra is not a boom guy. What are you talking about? Amon Ra is a floor guy.
About?
Look at his
I mean, Amon Ra.
That's a floor guy. He's just really good, but he's
that's
the thing.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I do agree that your criticism of me is correct, but I see Amon Ra as a guy who can score 40, but he's also a floor guy, which is why he's a second round draft pick. You know, like there's a reason certain guys get drafted in the first and second round, and it's because they have high floors and high ceilings, right? Yeah, that's fair. He just hasn't lined up one of the big yardage weeks with a touchdown. Which is the only reason this isn't 22 and this isn't 19. Like anyway, this guy out of your lineup. Get this guy up here, and get this guy in there. Kyle, cut this guy. Go pick up CJ Stroud. Now I've given equal advice to both guys. I picked Evan. Is that it? No, one more. One more. Oh, early poop bowl matchup of the week.
This has poop bowl potential.
Poop potential.
I like that. Jeremy's got some buys. Some buys. Weakening the roster.
Michael Thomas.
Greg, you know what's interesting? And I feel like I don't know if we've brought this guy up a single time ever. And honestly, after looking at the stats, we're not gonna.
Who are we talking about here? Yeah, I gotta help me.
I was actually looking at Jacoby Myers.
Why would you ever look at him? He scored a touchdown week 1, got concussed, and then no.
Listen, he had a pretty solid week 3.
I'm sure he'll have more solid weeks throughout the season. He's definitely he's gonna play in Craig's lineup at some point this season.
Yes.
Like buys will dictate that he gets a star at some point.
Yeah, Craig might be going into this week starting Samaje Perine. That is a possibility. I don't think
Jonathan Taylor plays, so I don't think that's something that is going to happen.
That being said, Jeremy is unironically starting Cam Akers.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, he's also starting Najee Harris, so.
And listen, Cam Akers, 5th round pick. Potentially.
Cam Akers' revenge game, by the way. Craig is the guy who dropped him.
That is really funny, actually. Is that true?
Oh.
Did you just make that up?
Oh, Craig was the Cam Akers guy last year? Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait. What? 5th round pick.
Wait, I really felt that Craig. Maybe not. All right.
Makers potentially just a drop, just a flat out drop. You
I
might
think he
have
is
to
a
Kyle
flat out
Pitts him.
drop.
Yeah, I listen. Kyle
That's what
Pitts
I
is
thought
also a fifth-round
happened.
pick. It's funny, Anthony. I had him.
Did
in
you
Fever,
flat drop him in Fever?
I
Okay,
flat dropped him
okay,
in Fever. Yeah.
okay.
Makers, maybe just a flat drop. And yeah. Honestly, man, it might be a Justice Hill week, bro. I don't know, man. Your RB2 slot, Jeremy, is hurting.
Jeremy's trading for some Ajay PR in this week, bro.
And that's coming in the fact with your RB1 slot is also not very good.
Jeremy, tell you what, I'll send one Chuba Hubbard your way.
Oh, one Chubba Hubba.
One Chubba Bubba for Sam Laporta.
Wow, Big Sammy.
I don't even want Sam Laporta. I have TJ Hawkinson.
Make a selection. Pick
I don't
somebody.
wanna.
I know you keep stalling.
I don't wanna.
My selections are already done, and you're just like burp.
Tell me who you picked.
That's not how this works. I
Yeah.
pick, then you pick, and then I tell you.
Yeah. I picked Jeremy.
Selected Craig.
Oh my
Get out
God!
there,
More
Craig.
points up for grabs. So is that? Is that
Get
3 total
this
points up for grabs this week?
W. I think it's
My
3.
matchup, this matchup,
David's
and
matchup. David and Dan.
David and Dan.
Yep.
You picked Dan? Oh yeah. No,
Or
we both
maybe
picked
it was-
David.
Oh, there was Kyle. Kyle and Evan.
Kyle and Evan. Okay, so there's 3 points up for grabs this week. Let's see how it works out.
It's a big week, boys. It's a big week. Listen, this is week 5. It's no longer week 4, and it's not week 6 yet. That's how math works. Good luck out there.
Guys, he got to 5
Have a
and
great
6.
time.
We're so proud of him.
Take it easy, boys.
Later.